What if I told you that just one overlooked habit, something simple, quiet, often dismissed, could change the way you age? Not just how long you live, but how you live. Take a moment and picture this. Two people, both in their 70s. One is briskly walking through the garden, greeting neighbors, remembering birthdays and tending to their tomatoes with hands that still feel strong. The other sits in silence, staring out a window. Their steps are slower, words come and go. They seem to be fading, not just physically, but from life itself. And the question we quietly ask ourselves is this: what makes the difference? Why do some people age with energy, clarity, and joy, while others seem to shrink away, as if life is closing in? I used to think it was luck, or genetics, or maybe just a roll of the dice. But after years of working with older adults, listening to their stories, and watching the small choices they made each day, I've come to believe something different. The difference lies in the habits, not huge, overwhelming changes, not 30-day detoxes or complicated routines, but daily practices, golden habits that shape how you feel, how you move, how you think, and how you live. And in today's video, I want to share 5 of those habits with you. Simple, powerful, science-backed. They're not just about adding years to your life, they're about adding life to your years. Now, before we dive in, I want to share something personal. One of these habits, the very first one actually, was something I ignored for far too long. That is, until I watched what it did for someone I care about deeply. His name is George, and his story, which I'll share with you in just a moment, changed the way I see aging forever. So I invite you, wherever you're watching this from, whether you're sitting with a cup of tea, resting in bed, or walking as you listen, to stay with me. Because one of these 5 habits might be the piece you've been missing. The habit that restores your energy, rebuilds your confidence, or brings back a part of you that's been quietly fading. And if at any point you feel a spark, a memory, a thought, or just a moment of, yes, I needed to hear this, would you do something small? Tap the like button, not because it helps the algorithm, but because it helps this message find someone else who needs it. Someone like you, or like George, or like the woman we'll meet later who folds her worries into a drawer each night before sleep. This channel is built on real stories, real science, and real hope for what aging can look like when we choose to age with intention. So whether you're here for yourself, a parent, a partner, or a dear friend, I'm honored you've chosen to share this moment. Let's begin one golden habit at a time. And trust me, you'll want to hear the first one, because strength, it turns out, isn't just about lifting things. Sometimes it's about lifting yourself back up. Let's begin with George. At 73, he was still sharp, still kind, still showing up for Sunday dinners with a smile. But one quiet morning, something changed. He reached for a mug on the top shelf, something he'd done 100 times before, and this time he fell. Not a dramatic fall, no sirens, no broken bones, just a quick stumble in the kitchen. But the damage wasn't just physical. For weeks after, George moved more cautiously. He hesitated at the stairs. He skipped his evening walk. He sat more. He stood less. He smiled. A little less, too. The fall hadn't just bruised his body, it had shaken his confidence. His daughter noticed the change. One morning, she gently placed 2 water bottles in his hands and said, "Dad, we're going to start small." That's how it began. 5 slow squats, then wall push-ups, then lifting those same water bottles, 1 curl at a time. At first, George resisted. His knees ached, his pride flinched. He said, "I'm too old for this." But something unexpected began to happen. By week 2, he was standing taller. By week 4, he walked a little faster. By week 6, he was smiling again. Not because the exercises were easy, but because they reminded him of something he'd almost forgotten. That strength isn't just physical, it's personal. You see, strength training is one of the most powerful and most overlooked habits in healthy aging. Many people think it's for bodybuilders or the young, but after age 60, our bodies naturally begin losing muscle in a process called sarcopenia. It's slow, silent, and easy to miss, until one day a simple movement feels harder than it used to. And that's where the risk grows. because loss of muscle leads to loss of mobility. And when mobility goes, confidence follows. But here's the good news. We don't have to accept that decline as fate. Science now tells us we can slow it down, even reverse it. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that older adults who did strength exercises at least twice a week reduced their risk of early death by up to 20%. Not just more time, but better time. More life in your years, more control in your hands. And no, you don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. George used water bottles. You can use a soup can, a wall, a chair. Try this. Stand up slowly from a chair without using your hands. Sit back down. Repeat 5 times. Congratulations, you just did a set of squats. Or place your hands on a wall and do 10 gentle push-ups. Lift a can in each arm while seated. That's your workout. Each movement tells your body, I'm still here, I still matter. Strength training doesn't just build muscle, it boosts your balance, bone health, metabolism, and even your mood. It tells your joints to stay active. It helps reduce back pain, and it helps you sleep better at night. If you haven't exercised in a while, that's okay. You're not behind, you're right on time. Start with a few minutes, build slowly, listen to your body, and always talk to your doctor if you're unsure. Because the goal isn't to become a weightlifter, it's to lift yourself back into your life without fear, without hesitation. George didn't expect much, but 3 months later he joined a community garden. He said, I just wanted to carry my own tools again, and he did. So if this story speaks to you, or if you've had a fall, or a moment where confidence slipped away, know this, you can rebuild, you can reclaim control, one representative, one breath, one day at a time. Every morning at 7:30, rain or shine, Helen and David lace up their walking shoes. They don't wear step trackers, they don't carry phones or water bottles. They simply walk, a steady loop past the park, the bakery, the little stone church on the corner. Hand in hand. Sometimes they talk, sometimes they don't, but every morning they move forward, together. You see, it's not just a stroll, it's a ritual, a rhythm, a way of remembering. We are still here, we are still moving, and what that simple habit has done for their health and their relationship is anything but simple. Walking is the most underrated miracle in modern health. No machines, no subscriptions, no loud gyms or difficult techniques. Just your feet, the earth, and a few quiet minutes. And yet those steps carry more than just your body. They carry your heart, your mood, your mind. According to research from Harvard Medical School, walking just 20 to 30 minutes a day can lower your risk of heart disease by up to 40%. That's not a guess, that's science. Nearly half the risk just by walking. But that's only the beginning. Walking also helps regulate blood sugar, lower blood pressure, improve circulation, ease arthritis symptoms, reduce joint stiffness, support digestion, and perhaps most beautifully, it clears the fog. There's something about walking that gives your thoughts space to breathe. The rustle of leaves, the shift of sunlight, the rhythm of your own 2 feet reminding you, I'm alive. For many, walking becomes more than exercise. It becomes meditation, companionship, a thread back to the self. That's what Helen and David have found, not just a way to stay physically strong, but a quiet way to stay emotionally close. Before the noise of the world creeps in, they take those moments for each other. And if you're walking alone, know this, you're not truly alone. Because with every step, you're reconnecting with nature, with yourself, with the life around you. Even 5 minutes around the block can shift your entire day. Start small. 1 loop around the yard, down the driveway, to the mailbox and back. The goal isn't distance, it's consistency. Don't let the idea of 10,000 steps discourage you. What matters is showing up. Every step tells your body, we're still moving forward. And if motivation feels low, on days when the weather's bad or the bed feels warm, remember this. You don't have to want to go, you just have to go. Because most of the time, 5 minutes in, you'll be glad you did. And if you can, invite someone to join you. A neighbor, a friend, a loved one. Some of the best conversations happen side by side, not face to face. There's no pressure to speak, no need to fill the silence. Just shared steps, shared air, shared time. Walking also boosts mental health. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It releases endorphins, your body's natural mood lifters. It sharpens memory, clears away mental fog, and helps you sleep better at night. Unlike some medications, walking has no side effects, only side benefits. So if you haven't walked in a while, maybe today is the day. Put on comfortable shoes, take one loop, and tomorrow maybe you take two. Your feet know the way. Trust them. Walk toward health, walk toward clarity, walk toward yourself. Let's keep walking together. Ready for the next step? The first time I visited my friend Robert in his new assisted living apartment, I noticed something small but powerful. On his kitchen table, right next to a pair of reading glasses and a half-finished crossword, sat a little spiral notebook. The cover read, in careful black ink, brain food. Inside, Robert had written a grocery list in his neat handwriting. Blueberries, spinach, olive oil, walnuts, salmon. I don't want to lose myself, he told me quietly, eyes steady. I may walk a little slower these days, but I still want to think clearly. That moment stayed with me, because Robert understood something most people overlook. Food doesn't just feed the body, it fuels the brain. As we age, our minds become more sensitive, more vulnerable to inflammation, more prone to fog, forgetfulness, and fatigue. But here's the truth. What we eat can sharpen our minds or slowly cloud them. Science backs this up. The Mind Diet, a blend of the Mediterranean and DASH diets, has been shown to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's by up to 53% when followed closely. Even moderate adherence lowers risk by more than 30%, according to the National Institute on Aging. That's not a miracle. That's momentum built one bite at a time. So what does this look like on your plate? Start with the greens. Leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are rich in folate and vitamin K, nutrients that support brain function and slow cognitive decline. Add in berries, especially blueberries and strawberries. They're packed with antioxidants that protect neurons and improve memory. Next, fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines, full of omega-3 fatty acids that calm brain inflammation and support mood. Don't forget whole grains like oats and brown rice, which offer steady fuel to keep your brain energized throughout the day. Then there are nuts and seeds, especially walnuts. Nature shaped them like a brain for a reason. They're packed with healthy fats, vitamin E, and plant-based omega-3s. And finally, olive oil, a staple of longevity. Drizzle it on salads, use it in cooking, swap it in for butter. It's not just heart healthy, it's brain smart. But just as important as what we add is what we reduce. Processed foods loaded with sugar, salt, and trans fats can accelerate cognitive decline. Sodas, pastries, frozen meals, chips. These quick fixes may satisfy in the moment, but they cost us clarity in the long run. Robert once told me, I used to have a sweet tooth, especially at night, a little cake with my show. But after his doctor explained the link between sugar and memory loss, he made a shift. Now it's apple slices and a handful of almonds. I still get the crunch, he said with a smile, but now my head feels clearer. And don't forget hydration, the silent hero of mental clarity. As we age, our sense of thirst fades, but our brain's need for water doesn't. Even mild dehydration can cause confusion, fatigue, or fog. Sip water throughout the day. Add lemon, cucumber, or mint if plain water feels dull. Skip the sugary juices and sodas. They work against you. Eating for your brain doesn't mean giving up all your favorite foods. It means gradually inviting better choices into your routine. Add berries to your breakfast. Swap white bread for whole grain. Replace red meat once a week with fish. Each change is small, but over time, they build clarity. Because food is more than fuel. It's memory, it's focus. It's the difference between forgetting and remembering your grandchild's name. So eat not just to live, eat to remember, eat to stay curious, eat to stay you. Now let's move forward toward the fourth golden habit, staying connected. Bill was 80 when Marianne passed. They had been married for 57 years. Their lives were stitched together: morning coffee, afternoon crossword puzzles, her humming in the kitchen, his whistling as he tended the roses. When she left, it wasn't just her presence that disappeared. It was the rhythm, the warmth, the reason to get up and go. For weeks, Bill moved like a ghost in his own home. The coffee went cold. The television played to no one. The phone rang, but he let it. He wasn't just grieving, he was retreating from the world, from his own life. Then one Saturday, his granddaughter visited. She hugged him longer than usual and asked gently, "Grandpa, will you come to the senior dance at church with me tonight?" He hesitated. He hadn't danced in decades, but something in her eyes, so much like Marianne's, made him say yes. That evening, under soft lights and the sound of old love songs, someone handed him cider. Someone else pulled him onto the dance floor. And slowly, step by step, Bill came back to life. Loneliness isn't just an emotional ache, it's a health risk. Prolonged isolation has been linked to heart disease, depression, weakened immunity, dementia, and even premature death. A 2023 study from the University of Utah found that older adults with strong social ties were up to 50% more likely to live longer than those who were isolated. That's not coincidence. That's connection at work. Staying socially engaged isn't a luxury, it's a vital sign. And yet, for so many older adults, the world gets quieter over time. Retirement, illness, the loss of a spouse, children moving away, it all leads to shrinking circles. But the truth is, those walls of silence don't have to stay up. Rebuilding connection doesn't mean walking into a room full of strangers or forcing yourself into conversations that don't feel natural. It can start small. A weekly phone call to an old friend, joining a gardening club or book circle, writing a letter saying yes to coffee with a neighbor, even a video call with family or joining an online group for shared interests. These aren't just nice things to do. They are lifelines. I once met a woman named Carol, 74, who joined a quilting group after 3 days without speaking to another soul. "I didn't realize how much I needed people," she told me, tears in her eyes, until I laughed again. Technology can help too. When used with care, a screen isn't a barrier, it's a bridge. Video chat with your grandkids. Join a virtual history club. Message someone you haven't seen in years. Because connection doesn't require crowds. It just requires a willing heart. Think about someone you haven't spoken to in a while. A cousin, a neighbor, an old coworker. What if today was the day you reached out? And if you've recently rediscovered connection, like Bill or Carol, tell us in the comments. Your story might be the spark someone else needs to pick up the phone or open their door. Let me say this plainly, you still matter. Your voice, your stories, your laughter, they still belong somewhere. Don't let silence convince you otherwise. Connection isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about being seen, being heard, being held in someone's memory. So reach out, say hello, join the dance. Because life is a conversation, and you are not done speaking yet. Let's take one final step forward. Sleep. It sounds so simple. Close your eyes, drift off, wake up refreshed. But for many of us, especially as we grow older, sleep becomes more like a puzzle than a promise. Maybe you fall asleep quickly, but wake up at 3 a.m. with your thoughts racing. Maybe you toss and turn, aching for rest that never truly comes. Maybe your body's tired, but your brain just won't settle. Here's what I want you to know. Good sleep isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. It's not optional, it's essential. Like water, like air. Sleep is when your brain takes out the trash, literally. During deep sleep, the brain clears away harmful waste proteins, including beta amyloid, the same substance linked to Alzheimer's disease. If we don't sleep well, those proteins build up, and over time they steal clarity, memory, and focus. But that's just the beginning. Lack of sleep has been linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, weakened immunity, mood swings, weight gain, and even a higher risk of stroke. It raises cortisol, the stress hormone. It throws off leptin and ghrelin, the hormones that control hunger, making us crave sugar and carbs the next day. It makes walking harder, thinking slower, healing slower, and yet so many older adults shrug it off. I guess I just don't need as much sleep anymore, they say. But here's the truth, you do. Our sleep patterns may shift as we age, but our need for deep, restorative sleep doesn't go away. Most adults still need 7 to 8 hours a night to function at their best. So what can you do when sleep gets slippery? Start by creating a rhythm. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, even on weekends. Your body loves consistency. It responds to patterns. Then craft a bedtime ritual, a gentle signal to the brain that it's time to wind down. Dim the lights, read a few pages from a favorite book. Put on calming music, do gentle stretches, avoid screens, phones, TVs, tablets, for at least an hour before bed. That blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Watch your caffeine too. That 2 p.m. cup of coffee, it could still be in your system at midnight. Make your bedroom a sanctuary. Cool, quiet, dark, comfortable bedding, fresh air, a clock you can't see too easily, because watching the minutes pass can add pressure, not peace. And if your mind just won't stop spinning, try writing down your thoughts. A simple journal. 5 minutes. I once knew a woman named Jeanette who called this tucking in her worries. She'd write down everything weighing on her heart, fold the paper in half, place it in a drawer and whisper, "Not tonight." And then she slept. It didn't fix everything, but it helped her rest. If sleep has become a struggle for you, know this: you are not alone, and you are not broken. Sometimes sleep problems are linked to medication, pain, or hidden health conditions, so don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. There are solutions. You deserve them. Because when we sleep better, we think clearer, we heal faster, we move easier, we feel more like ourselves. And in the end, aging well isn't just about how we live. It's about how we rest, how we restore, and how we give ourselves permission to pause. So tonight, tuck yourself in gently. Let go of the guilt. Set down the worry. Whisper to yourself, "I'm allowed to rest." Because deep sleep is not the end of the day. It's the beginning of your healing. And now we've walked through all 5 golden habits together. Up next, let's bring it all home. Let's take a quiet breath together. We've walked through 5 golden habits, simple in practice but powerful in impact. But more than that, we've walked through 5 stories. 5 moments that reminded us that aging isn't a slow retreat. It's an invitation to return to what matters. We saw George, who began with 2 water bottles and found his strength again, not just in his muscles, but in his confidence. We walked with Helen and David hand in hand, as they showed us how something as humble as a morning loop around the block can hold a lifetime of connection. We sat beside Robert as he wrote his brain food list, not out of fear, but out of quiet courage, the kind that says, "I still want to remember." We cheered for Bill, who danced back into life when he stepped into a church hall with trembling hands and found music in his heart again. And we listened to Jeanette, who whispered "not tonight" to her worries, choosing sleep as her soft rebellion against a restless mind. These weren't just habits. They were acts of self-respect, of renewal, of love. And here's what I hope you remember most. None of them required perfection. None demanded youth or speed or even a clear plan. They asked only for presence and a willingness to begin. Because aging well isn't about chasing what was, it's about claiming what still is. It's not about resisting time, it's about moving with it, gently, wisely, bravely. So now I invite you to choose one small thing from today's journey. It doesn't need to be grand. Call an old friend, take a 5-minute walk, go to bed half an hour earlier, add berries to your breakfast. Stand up from a chair 5 times. No hands. Do something simple. Do something kind. Do something that tells your body and your spirit, "I'm still here and I still matter." And if something from this video spoke to you, a moment, a memory, an idea, I'd be truly grateful if you tap the like button. It lets this message reach someone else who might need it too. Know someone walking through their golden years? Someone who's feeling lost or tired or just unsure what aging well looks like. Send this their way. Let them know they're not alone. And if you'd like to keep walking this path with me, if you're ready to grow stronger, wiser, more grounded with each passing year. Tap subscribe and turn on the bell. This channel isn't just information. It's a gathering place, a space for stories, for learning, and for gentle courage. Because as we've said from the beginning, the goal isn't just to add years to life. It's to add life to your years, to move with clarity, to age with intention, to live with dignity, with joy, with choice. And so, wherever this finds you, whether you're just beginning to think about your health or you're already years into this journey, I want you to know you're not too late, you're not too old, and you are absolutely not done. The habits we build today are the echoes of who we'll be tomorrow. So take one step forward, small, steady, and yours. And I'll be right here, walking with you. Until next time, live long, live wise, and take gentle care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.